Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to Spiritism at Noon, hosted by the Spiritist Group of New York. This year we are celebrating 25 years of existence, which is quite an achievement. And we are all very happy. It's thanks to you, to all of you that have been, with us and supporting us and helping us in so many different ways. And we are studying in this session the book A Full Life, written by the Spirit Joanna de Angelis through the mediumship of Divaldo Franco. We are currently studying chapter 24, and as I always like to remind everyone that is perhaps tuning in for the first time that each chapter brings a different topic and we discuss the topic. So if you miss the other ones, it's okay. You can just watch or go through them later. So the previous week we started a chapter that is this chapter 24 that is talking about the future, and there is a lot for us to talk about the future, so we went through half of the chapter and are going to be continue with the other half today. So let me share with you my screen, and just so we be well situated, and actually because this is really, those two are really phrases of impact. The last two phrases we read last week was live your life conscious that you are building your future, which is in turn waiting for your decisions. Do not think that you are the object of special protections or that you have merits that guarantee a different and pleasurable experience. Okay, so here, as we were finishing the first part of this chapter last week, we the Spirit Joanna de Angelis was talking to us about the importance of our understanding the teachings of Jesus that relate to us as immortal beings. So, in this sense, always thinking that everything that we do today counts. Everything that we do today is important for us, not only in the present, but in the future. And how we are going to be within this future is very important. Sometimes, just because uh, you know, we have been applying ourselves in this lifetime to become better, to become more spiritual, to have more compassion, to put in practice everything that we are learning, which is absolutely wonderful, excellent, and this is the way to go. We think that just with this instant change, we are going to erase everything that we did in the past. And therefore, when we have struggles ahead of us, we kind of question the validity of, you know, really dedicating to spiritual values, to, to work on this inner changes, because you said, you know what, I'm trying to do that and I don't see the results. One thing that came to my mind is, like, you go to gym once, and then the day after you want to be your muscles already showing and completely different. We know that this doesn't happen like this. I mean, it requires a lot of effort, a lot of days, a lot of discipline until it is going to, establish, and we will see, a more structured body per se. In our case, we are talking about spirituality. So, as laudable as the effort that we are doing is, we still are in the process. So it doesn't mean that we are going to be having a special treatment, erase everything that happened in the past just because we now know better. Does it help? Yes, a lot. And this is what we should be doing better soon, sooner than later. And but let us not wait for miracles or special treatment, as she says here. And I think when Joanna de Angelis tell us that do not wait for special treatment, it is everything related to marriage. She's just maybe being a little modest because, in a way, if we really pay attention when we are really living difficult situations, we will see and we will perceive the presence of the spirits. And in accordance to our inner attitude, we are going to be more open for them to act through us. Any question or comment so far? Okay, so let's read a little bit from the part we are going to be focusing today. The future is happening at every moment. It's interesting, right? Because we think, oh, the future is the future. No, it's not the future. The future is not the future. The future is happening at every moment. So what you saw in the past as the future has already come and gone. Likewise, your today, use it to be your future in the past. Something that seemed distant and now no longer matters except for the consequences left behind. So enjoy the now, taking advantage of life's gifts, and program yourself for your eternal future. Yeah, this is so interesting, so important, right? I was just talking about that the other day with my son, like, the passage of time when you reach your 20s and 30s and 40s and so on. And we keep on um, not really valuing the time we are living. And a friend of mine whose father just passed a few weeks ago, he was 103 years old. And she was telling me that when she turned 50, she went into one of those crises. It was really hard for her to accept that now she was a 50-year-old woman. And then she was there visiting her father, and he was 90 at a time. And she asked him, if you could wish for one thing in life, what would it be? And then he replied, that I would turn back and be 70 again. I thought this was so extraordinary because when you listen to the story, you think, well, he will say 50, your age, right? No, he said 70. And there she was, like she says, in the middle of the way between 50 and 70, and him 90 and 70. And he's saying, oh my God, I wish I was 70. And here we are going through those phases of life, those stages of life, and not really valuing and understanding and understanding that we should enjoy what we have now, and and be careful with the seeds we are planting for the future. Any comment, question? No? Okay, let's go more ahead. Do not adorn Jesus' messages with the earthly laurels that he rejected. He renounced human glory for divine glory, experiencing all kinds of pain. But he was always dignified and did not ask the Father for relief. On Calvary, he surrendered to the heavenly will, obeyed, broken down, and half dead. Soon after returning in abundant life, he never complained or protested because he was the heaven's ambassador who had come to elevate the earth. Do not be enticed by human homages because everything turns to dust as it was in the beginning. Be grateful for each disappointment, antagonism, and retaliation of which you are the victim, because you are restoring the equilibrium you once upset. Any applause, awards, homages, and special mentions, always receive them with simplicity, considering yourself to be in debt to God's mercy. Work today for your future and accept your testimonies, remembering the Christian martyrs whose lives and deaths move your heart. Okay, so she goes and because of this kind of bargain that we make with God, with life, with the good spirits. Listen, I've been good now, and come and give me some rewards. Or take away this bitter drink that is offered to me now with situations that we are living. And then she comes and show the example of Jesus. And many times when we talk about the example of Jesus, people may think, well, but Jesus was Jesus. Yeah, Jesus was Jesus, but he came to give examples. He have a body of flesh very much like ours, which was put it on all this martyrdom that he went through, and he is Jesus, the governor of our planet, responsible for every human being life on this planet, which he was already at the time he came here. And he didn't complain to God. Listen, God, are you sure you are going to make me go through that? And I'm sure that sometimes, and I think we all have experiences with that, physical pain hurts, but ingratitude, moral pain, sometimes they hurt more, right? And so yeah, Jesus went through a lot of physical pain, but looking at all the beautiful lessons and examples he was setting for us, and seeing that we were not learning from it, taking advantage from it, and seeing brothers and sisters of him, of us, that would go and actually work against him, that must have hurt a lot. But he was not complaining. And like Joana de Angelis says here, when bad things come to us, just let us be reminded that it represents the results of what we have been sown so far. And when good things come, when applause, rewards, as she says, okay, good girl, good boy, you're going in the right direction. Just keep up the good work. This is what is important for us to think now, and to, in all of this, in the good and the bad, be grateful, because as we know and understand for other lessons as well, going through difficult things means that we are already capable of going through them. That we have reached to the stage where we can start taking responsibility for our actions. And as painful as it can be, at the same time, it shows that we are in a different stage of evolvement. questions, comments? So yeah.
It's funny because in general, we are opposite. Every time when we have challenges, we always complain. And when we have like awards, we always feel like proud of ourselves. In general, everybody has like this kind of behavior. Then I really call my attention because this special sentence, in fact, means we need to pay attention about the reactions our life produce and use this time to learn every time when we have like challenge and we feel like strong enough to face and put our efforts to continue in this path of the right actions, we learn. We feel like, oh my goodness, I'm a strong person. We feel good about ourselves. And it's not something we can show the others. It's like for ourselves. Only me understand what kind of feelings, this kind of behavior, the right path behavior, shake my soul. It's not something I can explain for the others because probably the others is not able to understand. And every time when I fail, the opposite way, I feel so bad about myself. and
Yes, but it's so important what you said because the good and the bad, we are the only witnesses, right? And sometimes, people, like you say, you feel bad because you did something that you shouldn't. And if you share with someone, with a friend, with a family member, they may say, "Oh, this is not so bad. Don't worry." And no, at this time, we do not need a pat in the back saying it's okay. We really need someone to say, you know what, I agree with you. It's not good. So, what is the lesson here? Be vigilant, pay more attention, right? Because all the emotions that come as a consequence of our actions, they pertain to us. And those emotions are not just, mind processes. They are physical. They are going to impact our cells. They are going to respond for the well-being we feel in terms of health, right? And in the same way, when you do something good, if we want to share with others, say, well, so what? What do you want? A pat in the back saying, good, you want a gold star? you know, this is what you should be doing all your life. But yeah, we are still in the phase that we need the gold stars, not necessarily because they are the gold stars, but because we want to validation that we are in the right track. And sometimes, like you said, those things are very little. Just it can be you get into your elevator and someone with a very heavy face and sorrowful face gets into the elevator, and you find something to try to brighten the people. They say, yeah, good morning. I hope you really have a good day today, and you see some kind of reaction, and this makes you feel good. It's nothing. And it's not anything that should be receiving the applause of the world. But at the same time, you know that you did what you could to try to lighten up that person's day. And as little as it can be, it's something that you could give, and it makes us feel this sensation, this good sensation that is actually cannot be shared. And so I understand completely, Sonia, when you say that for the good and for the bad, it's a lonely journey. But the thing is, we are the ones that are going to be gathering the results from our behavior. And when we do bad, here we are in a sleepless night, just thinking, oh my God, but why did I do that? And when we are happy, you feel nourished by that action, right? Anyone else would like to say anything? Okay, let's continue then. Work today for your future and accept your testimonies, remembering the Christian martyrs whose lives and deaths move your heart. Learn something that is fundamental to your future. Disconnect emotionally from everything that could represent a deep attachment. Fascinating objects, properties that you remodel or decorated to your taste, expensive and rare animals, people and friends that seem essential to your life only have the value that you assign to them. But at some point, they lose such traits. And in this analysis, remember that if you reach the period of old age, you will need other values for your existence to continue to have purpose. Each period in life bears a specific meaning, and as much as you may try to hide or fool the passage of time, the inexorability of the future will make you abandon what must and create new meaning. Thus, live each moment to the fullest, taking advantage of every possibility within your reach, as the circumstances will never be the same again. To live well in the future, remember your past experiences, what was important to you. Try to relive them in your past experiences, that what was important to you. Try, no, sorry. Try to relive them in your imagination to benefit from what you did not appreciate them, rejecting what later showed to be detrimental, but which at the time seemed good and fundamental. Life has the color you give to it, varying from dark and gloomy to bright and radiant. Okay, that's a lesson that sometimes we will think, especially because she mentioned here old age, maybe just related to old age, but it's we never know when we will be called to return, right? But so it's an invitation here to give things and people their proper value. Okay, a partner, a child, a relative, they are as good as the emotion, the sentiments we have towards them. And this meaning love and not possession and not roles, because sometimes we can see a person that is going to, let's say, a widow that is going to identify as being, oh, I'm the widow of Mr. So and so. No, you're not the widow of Mr. So and so. You are yourself. Or I am the mother of this or that child. No, you can't. You have, this is a role, but this is not who you are. or I am the vice president or the director or this or that. I mean, it's a role because you are the sum up of so many more things. So this is what she's talking about here. Oh, I'm the owner of Mercedes. Okay, I'm or a house in I don't know where. You know, no, you're not just that. And this is what she's calling our attention here. You know, if not even people we can say that we own. I mean, it's we don't. They are children of God, not ours, right? And but we have sometimes the happiness, the luck, whatever, of having people around us, of having partners, of having friends, of having, relatives that are important in our lives. And so she talks about this, and she says, especially if you're getting old, because yeah, when you're getting old, you have to start detaching from things because you know that you're going to leave everything behind is starting with your physical body. It is hard to think about it. I'm not going to say that it's not. It is hard and it's very frightening when we see that this, the sand in the hourglass seems to go somehow it's going faster than the first few minutes. Ah, it's so full. Now you look and it seems now it has to have changed the rhythm. No, it's the same thing. It's the same speech. But then we realize, and this is how she thinks us. She asks us to revisit the past and even to reconciliate with this past. It's not with a name of being melancholic and saying, oh my God, I had this in the past, I should have valued more. Okay, it's a lesson. So maybe I have to pay attention more to what I have now, right? And I'm not. In a few years, I will look back and say, oh my God, I should have paid more attention or to what I had at that time. But at the same time, to perhaps see things that we were not seeing. Like, for instance, yesterday, I don't know why, I woke up thinking about my father. And I start thinking, oh my God, I know so little about his childhood, about his years in school. Um, I don't even remember whether he shared that with us. And of course, as being children, and we didn't pay that much attention, right? What do I, why do I have to to know about my father's first, second, third grade, his experiences, this and that? And he died very young. He was 70 when he passed. And and now I thought to myself, oh my God, I wish I knew more. And it's I start thinking about perhaps sharing more with my son as well, or with people that I love, the things that I like to do when I was young, how we were, and sometimes I think, revisiting those things are very important, even if they are just to impart knowledge to the generations to come. I quite often say to tell my son, I wish I knew what I'm telling you today when I was your age. And there was no one that came to me and told me that. And so I think, even if we think, oh, we are older or we are, in that point in life, that what else, what can I give to the world? A lot. You can give a lot to the world, and you can give a lot to the generations. Things that only experience and time will teach us. and others do not have. But having said that, we have to use this experience and this knowledge to our lives today. So instead of complaining because I'm this or that year old, or the category that I fit him according to my age or my time on earth, um, I'm going to um, stop appreciating everything that this spirit in my life can bring to me. So it's about appreciating what it can, the things you have, what can bring to you, and this the moment that you still have to sow something. Because you see, sometimes people comes and say, "Oh, I wish I had this knowledge when I were very young. There was more spiritual. I would have conducted my life in a different way." It is not about time. Remember the parable of the workers of the last hour, that the one that starts to work at the last hour of the day received the same salary. Here, the lesson is the following: I have to learn how to add. For some, it may take 50 years. For others, it may take 5 months. And even if you're about to pass because of age or whatever, or illnesses or whatever, if you learn the lesson, you learn the lesson. It's not about the years lived on that lesson. So this is the reason why it is never too late, and each second matters, and which experience matters, and how we value them and are grateful to them also matter. So that, like she says here, life has the color we give to it. And it's like you said, Sonia, it's you cannot explain the, let's say, the green light that you're living in the moment for that person, because even because the perception of green from one for one person may be different than the other, and we know that there are so many shades of green, right? But yes, so this is how we learn that we are in control. Any comment, question?
Yes, but
Yes.
this said each period in life bears specific meaning. In the
Mhm.
future, making you abandon what must and create new meaning.
Mhm.
This is the process of learning. We learning with our own experience, what we face in our life, how much efforts,
Mhm.
and you mentioned about to share with our kids all this lesson, but the process of learning, in fact, it's not just to read one chapter, but when we are able to live that situation in our life and understand in in the real way the meaning. That's why the meaning change in each time of our life, because happen with me every time when I
Mhm.
open the gospel each week, the gospel at home. Many times I read a paragraph and I think, I never read this before. In fact, I already read all the book more than once, but my ability to understand that lesson in that moment in my life change,
Mhm.
make me able to understand better the meaning of that lesson.
Mhm. Yeah.
This is important to us, the process of to keep old and old. It's not just our body, but our minds changing and make us able to understand better. Sometimes we not able to see the meaning of that situation, and now we are able to understand. And this is how you put color in our life.
Yeah.
When we understand this process
Mhm.
is bigger than we imagine. It's not about the body.
Yeah.
Our wrinkles is not about this.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I think you know, when we start seeing life, I perhaps already told you that, but I normally say that what is the difference for me in being a spiritist or not? Uh, and in this case, I mean, I'm a spiritist. I follow the spiritism, but in this case, what I'm trying to say is being a spiritual religious person, right? It could be any other religion, philosophy that people could be following. But to me, the moment I started very early, but the moment that I really realized it, what it was like before I was seeing the world in black and white, and now I see the world in colors. This is how, the metaphor that I try to tell people, what is the difference of spiritism in your life? The difference is now I see in colors, and before it was or now we could advance it and say I see 3D.
Very nice.
I see
Uh,
4D, you know. Uh, it's very simple. What is the difference of this in your life? That makes the whole difference. And I think it's a very relatable way for people to understand. And so here it is about that. It's not saying and I think in this point, I really like so much how Joanna de Angelis approaches all these different topics. She's never kind of, promising, heavens and seven virgins or whatever, or harps, or no. It's about, but at the same time, it is so fair for all of us that, are in the market, a professional or once were or understand about that. How many times we have thought already that we were not treated fair according to your dedication, to your work, to your capabilities, right? And then comes a promotion and it's given to someone with less uh, merit than you just because it's friends or things like that. In the things of heaven, in the spiritual things, this will never happen. Is everything based on merit, based on you did that, this is will come back to you, whether good or bad. And this is why, the value of the time that we still have, be it one day or 20, 30 years, whatever, we have the possibility of changing this landscape of our lives in the today and definitely in the tomorrow. And once you start trailing a road that is nicer than the other, you never go back. There is no going back. There is always advancing, even if we are going to face challenges, but it's challenges with a different perspective, right? And I think this is what she says here so you can look at something with eyes of optimism, of bright and shiny, or you can look this and everything looks bad. You only see the little small black dot on a big uh, is white screen, and you say, oh, that is this is look at this. No, we don't want to be that. Any other comment or question? So let's read the last paragraphs. It is not by chance that you come across the principles of the gospel. Those who read it are never the same. So get ready because the future is already here. Today is the yesterday that is already gone and the tomorrow that has arrived. Oh my God, I can imagine that in Disney World. You getting in one of those chambers is after you do that, you're never gonna be the same and get ready because the future is here. Yesterday is gone and the future is now. So I mean, how great is that, right? And yeah, it's a matter of attitude, a matter of perspective. uh, we can show the same scenery. That's how, the psychiatrists do, right? They show a drawing to a patient, and what do you see here? And they are just traces of nothing, but for whatever reason, according to our emotions, to how we are, each one of us will reply in a different way, right? So now I have the possibility of resetting the way I look life. I don't want to see it in black and white anymore. I want to see it with all the colors, with all the possibilities, sound and images, everything that in the best experience ever. But it depends on me. It depends on how I appreciate things, and sometimes it may be exaggerated, but we should really say, "Oh my God, I'm so grateful because I have this group and we can share our, ideas and experiences. Oh my God, I'm so happy because I have this pain, but at the same time, I have a way of, going through that with friends, with loved ones, with, going to the hospital. Oh, I'm so happy because I could spend a few days on the beach and it was so nice. I mean, sometimes we take it for granted, like, I deserve that. It was my money, it was my thing. No, everything is actually a gift from God, even when we do not understand, why do we need certain gifts? It's just a matter of time before we can quite fully see the big picture. Okay. Any comment or question or anything you would like to bring more before? No? Okay, so yeah, there is a message from Emmanuel that it's called the knowing and the doing, or knowing and doing. Now we know, right? Now we know. It's up to us to start applying that to our life, right?